This is the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm gonna give you the top 3 things that you can do if you want to be guaranteed rich. By the way, my personal favorite is number 3, so be sure to stick to the end for that one. All right, number 1 is get your money out of prison. The problem with financial advice today is that everybody's telling you to put your money in prison. They tell you lock up your money, put it in that 401k or those IRAs, where if you try to get to it, they slap your hand and they slap you with a 10% early withdrawal penalty plus taxes. Nobody wants that, right? But they also, they even put in 401k. You have to either quit or get fired to even touch that money. Not to mention, you have people telling you to pay off your debt, pay off your house, become debt-free. No more mortgage, especially now that mortgage rates are going up. Pay it off even faster. Guess what? You're locking your money up in prison. Because if you did like what I did in the last financial crisis, I had a lot of equity in my house that I put in there thinking I could get back out whenever I needed it. But when the lenders, the banks said, you can't get your money. What do they say? Nope, we won't give you credit. We won't give you that line of credit so you can get your money out. So then I tried to sell it. But because they made it hard to get a loan, I couldn't get people to buy my property. And eventually I ended up selling it for way cheaper than what it was worth. And I lost all that equity. Get your money out of prison. Get it back into your control. Too often I see this being the case. Many times we get people that are the Dave Ramsey poster children. We get clients that come to us saying, hey, I'm debt-free other than my house. I've been saving up in these mutual funds that go up or down depending on what the market feels like that day. And the problem is this, is that I don't have any income. I have all these assets and essentially I'm asset rich and cash poor. That's a common problem that we get. I had one guy that had a bunch of money in his 401k. Luckily we were able to get it out, but it wasn't paying him anything, right? It wasn't doing anything for him. I had another client, he's a rancher. Ranchers, I mean, the hard thing is you got this land that's worth so much, you got to pay taxes on it. That's a huge outgo. It restricts you on how much money you can actually have. It doesn't matter if you're a multi-millionaire with all this farmland, if you got to keep paying the taxes and it's not really making you a lot of money. So you got to find ways to get your money out of prison. How do you get that money out so then you can get it to work for you today? That's what we spend most of our time with our clients doing, is just how do we get that money out of prison and get it working for us. All right, number 2, focus on cash flow. Now, I'm not just talking about passive income, right? Although that's part of it. But what I'm talking about is how do we make sure that your income is up here and your expenses are down here without you living on rice and beans, right? How do we actually make sure you do this in a way that's comfortable, but you can increase that income while keeping your expenses maintained or controlled? So there are a lot of things you can do. Now, I know we talk about a lot of this stuff on a lot of our other episodes and our other videos that we have here, but look at it. Start tracking your money. Find out where the money is going, how much is coming in, how much is going out. Track the money. I can guarantee just by tracking your money, you'll probably find at least $300 to $500 a month without even changing your lifestyle. Just by tracking your money and watching what's going on, I find that people save more money. I've had some people that when they start tracking their money, they've saved literally tens of thousands of dollars a year just by doing that. When they realize, oh, I'm blowing my money here, I'm blowing my money there. Focus on the cash flow, get your cash flow under control. And then if we have those assets out of prison, then we can start focusing on creating passive income with those investments. And that's a key thing. Remember, as a financial advisor, I was taught, just like any financial advisor probably taught you, it's about accumulating money. Accumulate enough money to get that nest egg big enough so then you can live on less than the interest. Here's the problem. Is that a wise financial advisor, and I mean like one that's actually up to speed with what's being taught nowadays, so that may or may not be wise, but somebody who's actually up to speed will tell you that you should only pull out 3% of your portfolio per year if you don't want to lose money before you're dead, right? If you want to have enough money to live long enough for you to be able to live on. Otherwise, with inflation and everything else, and not to mention you might not be making a lot of money on trying to keep your money safe, you're going to be running out of cash fast. So 3% is all you should be pulling out. Think about this. You have $1 million and then you pull out 3% a year, that's $30,000 a year, $2,500 a month, and then you pay taxes on that? You're lucky to walk away with $2,000 a month. I had another client that was in this very same situation. And what we did, what really is that number 3, I said my third point, this is my favorite point, is buy real assets, right? Buy real assets. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't buy the speculative stuff. I don't mean buy the cryptos and the stocks and all that other stuff. Don't go buy into that next token or whatever it might be, NFT thing. Don't buy that kind of crap. Buy real assets, things that are proven. These are things like real estate. Heck, this can even be in business. Business can be a great legitimate asset. I know I talk about real estate all the time, but business is a good asset as well. Now, there could be some risk there depending on the kind of business that you're in. But when you look at real assets, things that hold and maintain real value, they actually are real. That's why they call real estate, right? real assets. You want these kind of things that actually can absorb and keep their value. And even better, not only have real value to them, but also pay you real income, passive income. That is the real secret here. That is the secret to getting rich every time. In fact, you don't even have to believe me. Go Google it, okay? Go Google what millionaires are investing in, and you'll see almost every single one of them have real estate, okay? Many of them that are millionaires or even billionaires even. What do they have? They all have businesses and or real estate. They usually have both. Those are the asset classes they're in. Now, do a lot of those billionaires or millionaires, do they all have stocks? They might have some, but that's not how they got rich. They got rich usually from their businesses or their income that they had. They saved it, they allowed it to grow, and then they used that to buy other assets that produced more income to ensure that their wealth never ran out. It kept growing and going year after year, and eventually generation upon generation. That's the real secret. Now, you don't have to be a billionaire or even a multi-millionaire to do this. You can start small. And like I said, you start focusing on getting your money out of prison first, keeping your money out of things that lock it up. Keep it out of your company's 401k. Don't buy into the whole golden handcuffs of getting a match, which really don't give you that much return anyways down the road, especially when the stock market pays you like 7.6% average over the last 30 years. That's crappy. That's high risk, mediocre returns. You don't want that. You want to focus on those things that create more cash flow. So let me give you a few examples. I had one client where he had his money locked up in prison, right? This client, he was struggling. He was 62 years old. His business was declining year after year. He was getting tired, burnt out. Had enough. He was done. He needed some solutions to get out of this situation because now he was being paycheck to paycheck. Well, the first thing we looked at was just said, let's focus on your cash flow. It's like 1, get money out of prison, 2, cash flow. We did both with him. We started looking at a situation. I said, well, yeah, you are paycheck to paycheck, but look at this. You've got $500,000 sitting in an IRA doing nothing. It's paying you nothing. It sometimes loses money because of the stupid stock market. What's your plan with this? Well, I want to retire. Okay, so you want to retire, which means what? Well, I can have an income eventually, so I don't have to keep working forever. Okay, good. Well, so you want income is what you want with this. Yes. Great. Here's what you can do. You can use $100,000 of this IRA money, use this to pay down your mortgage a little bit, refinance, and be able to pay off some other loans too, because he had a few other loans that were out there. But refinancing his house will actually free up a lot more money per month. This $100,000 will actually help you free up $4,200 a month. That's $50,000 a year. He said, yeah, but Chris, how am I going to retire? Did you not just hear me? Use the $100,000, just $100,000, that's $500,000. It'll make you $50,000 a year. That's a 50% rate of return on your money. Yeah, but how am I going to retire? Finally, it took his wife, because usually the wives get it faster. They said, honey, this is common sense. Let's do this. So we did it. Refinanced their house, was able to pay off some of those debts and reduce his payments down by $4,200 a month, just like I said. Guess what happened next? He relaxed. He was able to go to his business. He was a practitioner. He was a medical practitioner. Went into his practice. More patients started saying yes because they didn't feel the desperation in his voice of wanting money. And so pretty soon he's making $2,000 or $3,000 more a month. And by the way, we didn't even do anything with the other $400,000 yet in the IRA that we could buy real assets that could cash flow. Maybe about $40,000 a year. But already by that point, we'd already improved his cash flow by about $70,000 or $80,000 a year between tax savings, freeing up some cash flow, and earning more money in his business. His life was already changing, and now you buy real assets, that $500,000 now could generate more. We've had other clients, might have $1 million sitting in those 401ks or IRAs, generating $11,000 a month. I had one person on our podcast show actually talk about that. We have people with even a few $100,000 a month, a few $100,000 in savings, still produce at least $1,000, $2,000 plus a month more coming in that allows them to become closer to becoming work optional. We have people that have even gone to retire in other countries like Bali or Mexico because of this, right? That's just the first step. That's just becoming financially independent. That's not even just getting rich. So if you want to be guaranteed to get rich, get your money out of prison, focus on cash flow, getting that nice and tight, and focus on passive income, buying real assets, and watch how your life will change forever. You will be the envy of your neighbors, your coworkers, even your family members. And they'll think you did something crazy. And no, you didn't. You just did something that's been working for literally hundreds of years. You're just doing the same thing that's worked for all the rest of us. Hey, if you think this is great, like and subscribe to this video. And also check out this next one, how to make $5,000 a month of passive income if you want to dig deeper down that little rabbit hole.